Hello friends, welcome back. This is the part of Maya Dynamics and Particle Tool part 4. I always prefer to do some setting in the Maya interface. Click this animation preference and set the playback speed play every frame. One big question arise in your mind. Of course, I also had the same question arise in my mind when I started learning Maya Dynamics. Let me explain why it is. When working with dynamics, it is very important to know how to timeline playback work. Otherwise, when we render the simulation, it may get unpleasant result. It may play slow as we saw in the workspace. I currently have 500 frames in my timeline to play the simulation. You can also call a sim. You can see here in the timeline it is play faster the real time speed. If you want to verify this, go to Heads Up Display, select the option Playback Speed and press the play icon. You can see it's playing 12 frames per second. That's why in order to correct this, in dynamic simulation we use playback speed play every frame maximum real time and play the simulation. Now you will see in the timeline playback speed 24 fps. I hope you understood about playback speed. The second thing I want to be display particle count on my screen. You can also see the particle count into the particle shape attributes. And the last thing is to display the perspective grid numbers and orthographic grids number in a viewport. Once you select the N particle tool, the tool option window will appear on your screen with some attributes. Particle name helps you to identify the object in the outliner. If you don't enter the name, the particle object will receive default name such as particle 1 and so on. Solver specify which nucleus solver the N particle objects belongs to. Select the solver from the drop down list. You will get two options. Existing Maya nuclear solver are listed, or select create new solver to create a new Maya nucleus solver for the new N particle object. Conserve. Influence the motion of particles whose velocity and acceleration attributes are controlled by the dynamics effects. You can see this option after you apply an particle dynamics property. Number of particles lets you specify the number of particles you want to create per mouse click. Maximum radius. If you choose the number of greater than 1 for the number of particles. You can distribute particles randomly in a spherical region where you click. Choose a spherical region, set the maximum radius to a value greater than 0. Sketch the particle. Once you selected this option, drag the mouse sketch to sketch a continuous stream of the particle. Sketch interval. This option allows to set a pixel spacing between particles. A value of 0 gives you nearly a solid line of pixel. The higher the value, the more space between the pixel. Create particle grid. With this option, you can create 2D or 3D and particle grids. Particle spacing. This option only active when creating a particle grid. Placement. Once you are active this option with the cursor to set the volume with your cursor or with the text field to set the grid coordinates manually. What you can do with N particle. Sketch a continuous curve on N particle. Place n particle on the surface of the polygon or NURBS object. Create individual n particle. Create a cloud or cluster n particle.